Hey, this is Alex, and this is lesson 9 for 7th grade math. Okay, so for this first part here, you need a FOIL, and FOIL is just an acronym for the order that you should multiply or distribute. So it's first, outside, inside, last. So for number 1, multiply the first terms together. That's just 8n squared. Multiply the outside terms together, so 2n times 1, which is just 2n. Multiply the inside terms together, which is just 3 times 4n. And then multiply the last terms together, so 3 times 1, which is just 3. And that is just 8n squared plus 14n plus 3. For number 2, just FOIL. So the first terms multiply together, 10x squared. Multiply the outside terms together, 5x times 8, which is just 40x. Multiply the inside terms together, it's 3 times 2x, which is 6x. And multiply the last terms together, 3 times 8, which is just 24. And that simplifies to 10x squared plus 46x plus 24. Okay, for this next section, it says solve for the equation. So you want to first get your variable on one side and then isolate that variable. So for number 1, get the variable on one side. So you could do that by just adding x on both sides. So it's 2x plus 3 equals 4. And to isolate it, move the 3 onto the other side. So it's 2x equals 1. Divide both sides by 2. And x equals 1/2. Let's do number 7 right here. For number 7, it's a couple more extra steps because you still need to distribute, which means if you distribute, it becomes negative 9y plus 2y equals negative 7 minus y. And if you move the y onto the other side, then you get negative 9y plus 3y equals negative 7. And that also just simplifies to negative 6y equals negative 7. If you divide both sides by negative 6, then you get y equals 7 over 6. Okay, so for this next section, you need to simplify the exponent expression. And to do that, you need to know a couple of rules. And one of the most basic rules is just this. So, if you're multiplying two terms, they have the same base, then you could just add their exponents and keep that base. So what that means is for number 1, it's 3 squared times 3 power of 6. And the terms have the same base, which is 3, right? So to simplify this, you keep that base of 3, but you add their exponents together. So it's 3 to the power of 2 plus 6, which is also just 3 to the power of 8. Okay, and we could do number 2 here. This is 9xy squared. So here, a rule that you should know is this. If you have a term and you're raising it to another power, you could simplify this by just multiplying these two exponents. So here, we could use this because we know that this is basically this, right? It's the same thing because x to the power of 1 is just 1. x, and y to the power of 1 is just y. So if you distribute that squared, then it's 9 squared times x squared times y squared. And that simplifies to 81 x squared times y squared. Now, if you take this a little bit further, it's like a number 5 here. Number 5 is 2x cubed raised to the power of 2 times x to the power of 4. So here, you just need to combine what we basically did in 1 and 2. So for this first part, just like here, right? It's 2 squared times x power of 3 times 2 times x to the power of 4, right? Just like right here, just multiplying these two exponents. And this simplifies to 4 times x to the power of 6 times x to the power of 4. That simplifies to 4 times x to the power of 10. Now, for this last section here, we're doing what we just did, but basically just in reverse. So for number 1, you need to find the expression that is equivalent to negative 9 to the power of 6. And we could just go through each of these answer choices until we find one that simplifies down to this. So for A, it's negative 9 squared times negative 9 cubed. And just like what we did in the previous page, this rule applies, meaning that this is just negative 9 to the power of 2 plus 3. Not times, it's plus, which means that this is just negative 9 to the power of 5, which is not what we're looking for. So now that A is out. Now, if you look at answer choice B, it is negative 9 times negative 9 to the power of 5, right? And as we know, negative 9 to the power of 1 is just negative 9. So right here, we know that it's negative 9 to the power of 1 plus 5, because these two have the same base. And that gives us negative 9 to the power of 6, which is what we're looking for. So for number 1 here, we know that the answer is B.